Hello and welcome everybody, business owners, concerned citizens, the paranoid, and the admittedly naive. Thank you as always for clicking on and listening to this segment of Words of Wisdom with your host, me, Ross Decker here at Real Cyber. This one is something that I've been thinking about and really dealing with for quite some time. So in our particular industry, there has been a real move to integrate lots of different things over the last decade. Started with new types of X-ray technology, 3D printing, and crown prep and delivery, and in a day or a number of hours, and intraoral cameras, and there was software. There's patient engagement, and there's texting, and there's pay on your phone, and there's in-office paperwork and health history and all of this stuff, right? And again, as you'll hear me say a lot, I think that new technology integrating itself with an existing industry is typically a net positive. The thing that I think is worth considering as we move through phases like we've been in, and like we're definitely still experiencing, is how much about these integrations do we really understand? How careful are we prior to signing these agreements and making these purchases and allowing these integrations, and how much control do we really have over the safety and security of the integration as we move forward in perpetuity? And that's something that, like I said at the beginning, has concerned me, and I've been working on hand in hand with clients for years now. And let's take just for a quick thought exercise, let's take something as simple as a patient engagement app or service that many practices are utilizing, right? So I will definitely not name any names, but let's just go super generic here and work a thought exercise, right? So you've got a patient engagement platform that you've onboarded, and let's just say that it has a couple simple features, right? It's got text verifications and appointment reminders, right? Nothing crazy. So what does an integration for something like that typically involve? So typically you call your provider and your IT provider, and you say, hey, we've got this new software and we're gonna get it installed. They say they need access to the server because it has some type of EMR practice management tie-in, and that's how it gets the data that it needs. Okay, cool, right? So there's a piece of software that gets installed and resides on your server in your office, and or if you're cloud-based, maybe there's an integration API or something like that. And all that really happens is that tool then reaches into your database and is able to pull things like, patient names, addresses, phone numbers, next appointment, trailing history, whatever, right? Obviously, as a necessity to perform its basic functionality, confirmations coming back, through the system are then able to be handed over via the little plug-in on the server as well back to your practice management or EMR. So it's writing data to your database as well. Your appointments may pop up as confirmed or whatnot, right? So it's a two-way relationship, right? And let's say there's an online control for that integration, right? You've got to log in, admin dot, thistool.com, right? So what is your credential for that login? Email, password, username, password, if we're talking statistically, it's probably the same email and password that you use for several other tools in the office. Is that an indictment of everyone's practices? No. It's just more often than not true. And why is that problematic? Well, it's problematic for a couple of reasons. If there is a problem in one of those tools, all of a sudden we have a vulnerability in several. The other problem is that this new tool potentially has access to your entire patient database with a little bit of searching and tweaking by virtue of its design, by virtue of its setup. So something that was only accessible within the office, maybe prior to all this new digitization and integration and added technology and added capability, is now accessible in lots of different ways. And maybe the only thing keeping threat actors out is a simple email or username and password that may or may not be that safe, because maybe we're not thinking about it and the power that that simple little credential has. So, things to think about. When we add these integrations and these new technologies, how much do we really understand about our increase in liability? How much do we really understand about how they access and utilize and safeguard the data that is entrusted to us? What's the cost benefit on those new risks as compared to the new capabilities? And like I said from the beginning, is it a net positive for any industry that is experiencing an explosion of new technology, new capabilities? Most definitely, yes, I think so. I think that the end result is a net positive, increase in quality of patient care, increase in efficiency, all of those good things. But I do think that we need to be careful, and we need to take our time, and we need to understand the things that we are utilizing within our own businesses. So add that to your hopper. Take some time to think about it. Definitely take some time to utilize that thought process and that information as you are exploring new and interesting integrations, especially, and I won't spend any more time on this particular segment talking about it. I think we've got some more, or I've written a little bit about it, but definitely as it relates to the new and emerging AI space. So, yeah. Thank you as always for tuning in today and clicking and listening to this segment wherever you are. I hope you're having a fantastic one.